David Anthony Burke, otherwise known by his rap stage name David, has been going through a lot, and I mean a lot, of social media scrutiny in the last about month or so. Today we're going to be talking about what's going on with David, his alleged relationship with a young woman named Celeste, and overall why he's being potentially accused of some pretty crazy, scary things. David was somebody that came up, kind of jumped up on everyone's For You page on TikTok about 2-3 months ago. As we know, he's a young artist, about 19, 20, been doing his thing in the LA area. Now, about 2 months ago, he was being questioned by the LA City Department after they had an alleged issue with his Tesla car. First, it started off with him not moving it off the driveway. Apparently, the Tesla had been there for about 2 to 3 weeks, and the neighbors were starting to have issues with it. Eventually, someone came up to the vehicle and had a very, very disgusting smell. They allegedly made an anonymous call to a tow company, which then towed the car to a vacant lot, where it sat for almost a month and a half. By then, the smell inside had gotten disgusting. No one knew what was going on, and even the tow yard eventually reached out to the police. When the police eventually went to the vehicle, they found an unknown body that was dismembered in the back seat. This, as we all know, is what started an entire nationwide scandal and story, which is impacting us today. Now, a lot of people have been asking about the true story. There have been different things online, some saying his partner was pregnant, some saying that he was secretly some mastermind behind everything, others even saying that he's a demonic worshiper. Yeah, it even goes that deep. So today we're gonna be breaking this down and separating the fact from the fiction. Now, friends of the singer frequently saw David and Celeste, the woman alleged to be together, and believed they were romantically involved. However, they did not mention anything about public displays of affection. They described the singer as a very shy, quiet person, and said Celeste seemed to mirror that as well. They said everything he did in his life, she kinda just seemed to follow. Many people feel as if David's silence on the matter overall with his partner could potentially be putting him in a negative situation. If I was accused of, potentially dismembering my partner and leaving them in a vacant lot in a Tesla, I don't think from an outside perspective looking in that anyone would want to hear anything that I have to say. Let's put that thought to the side and just assume that people would want to hear you. I don't think there's anything you could say that would make anyone believe you either. In this situation, we do kind of have to let that law run its course. David's friends believe Celeste was a college student. They said that she attended USC from what they believed, meaning that was what David had told them. You see, the thing with David is that many people are starting to understand that he was a potential master manipulator, not just a sociopath, but someone willing to do much, much more. The thing that many people don't understand about David is that his career has had an extremely high, fast pace of success. All these things have happened in the last month or two, meaning that David is basically in the same position as many of us were before, which means that he could potentially do anything and everything to preserve where he is in his fame and ambitions. Another very sad aspect of this case is something that I think that a lot of people are missing. When I did a lot of research and a lot of studying on the situation of David and Celeste, I noticed that a lot of people weren't really talking about this issue, and it's that Celeste was reported missing over 4 times by her family and friends over the last year. This singer, this basically world famous artist, was in a way kidnapping this young woman and taking her out the country, out of the state, and basically not allowing her to reach out to or contact her family or anyone that she knew or loved. Even if David did not dismember his partner and leave her in that Tesla, this now makes it look even worse, because if those things were not what you did, and if this person is not your partner, why were you not allowing them to contact their family? Why were you not allowing them to reach out and use their old equipment and technology? Why were you not telling people the age of your partner or friend or associate that you were with, at the very least for long periods of time, alone? These issues get scarier and scarier and scarier. David hasn't been spotted since his tour ended. He canceled his tour after he was told the young woman's body was found in his car, and he hasn't made a public appearance or issued any statements. On September 17th, the police raided David's Hollywood Hills home. If you don't know, this was the home where they had allegedly found the Tesla parked outside and were told to tow the car, which led up and basically created this entire situation. Now, they were told the singer subsequently terminated his $20,000 a month lease on the property only about a few days earlier. Now, these tendencies could basically be misconstrued as David potentially not complying with police and intentionally evading them, which, if you don't know, would not help his case of being acquitted for the potential murder of the young woman Celeste. The worst part about this issue is that police still have not named any other potential suspects in the passing of the young Celeste. And seeing as the FBI have even gotten involved, this makes things look very, very bad for David. Did David end up doing those things that they're accusing him of doing with Celeste? And what does the proof say? We'll go over the facts, and then we'll go over the proof, opinions, and the hearsay. Fact: David and Celeste were in some sort of intimate relationship, whether that was close friends, associates, or lovers. But the reality being is that he kept a close eye on her, and they didn't go anywhere very far from each other, basically being with each other every single day. Fact: the car that was found was David's original car. Not only was it owned and registered by him, as it being his Tesla, but even the security camera footage that they can't find after they raided his home was understood to be owned by David's manager, meaning that David's manager is the one that owns the home. Basically saying that hypothetically, if the police did say that they needed all that proof, they wouldn't be able to target David for it. It would have to be targeted and reached out through by David's manager, in which we already know that footage is most likely long gone by now. Fact: Celeste was not 19 years old as many people thought, and she did not go to USC, Berkeley, or any school of the type. She was a young woman, much too young for David. Fact: it was a strong allegation saying that David was paying off a lot of Celeste's young friends that were still in school so that they wouldn't speak to social media or tell anyone about their long-lasting relationship. And while those payments can't be verified, there's a lot of videos and photo proof online of David buying shoes, equipment, and clothing for people that went to the very same school that Celeste was allegedly going to during those last 2-3 years. And the biggest fact of them all being that the second, and I do mean by the literal second or legally the day that the issue came out where the police potentially listed David as a suspect, he dropped off the face of the planet. Meaning that the second he was basically accused of the problem as a whole, he vanished like a ghost. The LAPD had no idea this case was going on. And now we're basically stuck at ground zero because we're 3 months behind with little to any DNA besides the vehicle ownership and the tags in general. Overall, it's a lot going on in this case, and I do feel for Celeste and her family. Let us know in the comment section, do you feel as if this man David actually took this girl Celeste's life? Do you think that this was some type of for hire plot where he found out something that he wasn't supposed to and things went deeper than they did? Do you think that someone else is potentially setting up David and this has become way bigger than anyone had any right for it to be? Let us know in the comment section. We gone.